The story of our planet is written in stone. Each layer of rock is a page, each fossil a word in a vast, ancient library of life. This geological record chronicles eons of change and evolution, preserving tales from a world almost beyond our imagination. Within these pages we find tales of creatures so extraordinary they defy modern comprehension. This was an Earth of giants, a lost world where colossal mammals roamed and monstrous reptiles ruled, an era of megafauna where size was the ultimate advantage. Yet among the most fearsome were the serpents. Evolving from lizards, they became masters of stealth and ambush. These ancient predators ruled their domains with silent, deadly efficiency, perfecting the art of the kill through powerful constriction. Long before the first human walked the earth, in the warm, lush ecosystems of the Cenozoic era, these colossal reptiles navigated a world teeming with giants. It was a realm of intense competition where survival was a constant, brutal struggle. Their fossilized remains are a testament to sheer power and evolutionary perfection. Each vertebra tells a story of adaptation, a chilling reminder of a time when nature's scale was immense. Today, we embark on a journey back in time, joining paleontologists as they peel back layers of rock and sand to uncover these prehistoric secrets. We will explore the most dangerous serpents known to science, counting down the 10 most formidable predators to ever exist. We begin our countdown at number 10, but make no mistake, a place on this list is no sign of weakness. It is a testament to the extreme lethality that once dominated ancient ecosystems. What could make a snake so formidable that it earns a spot among the deadliest ever known? The answer lies buried beneath the sands of North Africa, in fossils that speak of a terrifying hunter, perfectly adapted to its ancient swampy home. Our story begins in the Fayum Depression, a remarkable window into a lost world, located in modern-day Egypt. Today, it's a stark, arid landscape, a hyper-arid desert, sculpted by relentless wind and deep time. Its golden dunes and sun-scorched rock formations hold secrets of a vastly different past. But travel back 40 million years, to the late Eocene epoch, and this desert vanishes. The world was a greenhouse, far warmer than today, and the Fayum was a lush tropical environment. It was a sprawling coastal swamp, a vibrant tapestry of life bordering the warm, shallow waters of the ancient Tethys Sea, the precursor to the modern Mediterranean. Dense mangrove forests with tangled submerged roots lined the coast. Sluggish, life-giving rivers snaked through the wetlands carrying sediment and nutrients into the sea. This was a world teeming with moisture and heat, a perfect incubator for giants, a nursery for early forms of many animal groups. And it was here in this primeval paradise that one of the largest snakes ever to have lived, Gigantophus garstini, made its home. Its existence was first hinted at in 1901, when British paleontologist Charles William Andrews of the British Museum examined a collection of fossils unearthed from this very region. He bestowed upon it a name that left no doubt as to its nature, Gigantophus, literally, giant snake. The specific name Garstini honors Sir William Garstin, a British civil engineer whose massive irrigation projects in Egypt inadvertently helped expose many of the fossil beds that have taught us so much about this era. The initial fossil evidence was tantalizingly scarce, just a handful of massive vertebrae and a fragment of a jaw. But even from these few pieces the puzzle they formed was one of colossal proportions. The vertebrae were immense, dwarfing those of any living snake. Paleontologists work like detectives, using the known world to understand the lost one. By carefully measuring the fossils and comparing their proportions to the skeletons of modern constrictors like anacondas and pythons, they could extrapolate the snake's total size. The initial estimates were staggering, a creature likely exceeding 10 meters or 33 feet in length. To put that into perspective, that's longer than a modern school bus, a predator of almost mythical dimensions. This made it significantly larger than today's longest snakes like the reticulated python, and far heavier than the bulkiest, the green anaconda. While its exact weight is debated, estimates place it somewhere between 500 and 700 kilograms, around half a ton. Imagine a muscular tube of pure reptilian might, with a girth as thick as a car tire. This was not a creature of delicate grace, it was an engine of power. It moved with slow, deliberate grace through the murky waters, not built for speed but for overwhelming latent strength. Gigantophus belonged to the Matsoidae, a fascinating and ancient family of snakes now entirely extinct. These were primitive constrictors with Gondwanan origins, meaning their ancestors slithered across the supercontinent that once connected South America, Africa, Australia, and India. They were true survivors, persisting through the asteroid impact that wiped out the dinosaurs and thriving well into the Cenozoic era. However, their anatomy was more archaic than that of modern pythons and boas. Their skulls were less kinetic with fewer moving parts. This suggests they couldn't open their mouths quite as wide relative to their head size as their modern cousins can, but when your head is the size of a man's torso, a limited gape is hardly a disadvantage. It was more than wide enough to swallow the large animals that shared its world. And the Fayum swamps were a veritable banquet. The waters teemed with giant catfish and lungfish. Enormous turtles paddled through the shallows, while early crocodiles like Eosuchus basked on the sun-drenched banks. But for an apex predator of Gigantophus's size, the main course was something much larger: the early proboscideans. Chief among them was Moratherium, a distant relative of modern elephants. Resembling a large, trunkless tapir, this semi-aquatic herbivore was about the size of a pig and spent much of its life in and around the water, feeding on lush vegetation. For Gigantophus, this was the perfect prey, abundant, sizable, and consistently drawn to its domain, the water's edge. Imagine the scene. A young Moratherium, thirsty under the Eocene sun, approaches the murky water. It is cautious, but its senses are tuned to threats on land. It dips its head to drink, completely unaware of the phantom lurking beneath the surface. For the snake, it is a waiting game of stillness and patience. Sensing the vibrations and perhaps the body heat of the mammal above, it prepares. Then, with no warning, the water explodes, a sudden, terrifying eruption of coiled muscle and gaping jaws. The snake strikes with a speed that belies its size, its mouth lined with rows of sharp, recurved teeth. These teeth aren't for chewing. They are hooks designed for one purpose: to grip and prevent escape. The moment its grip is secure, the true weapon is deployed. The snake's immense body, a python of unimaginable power, rapidly coils around its struggling victim. This is constriction on a scale that is hard to fathom. The pressure is immense, like being crushed under the weight of a city bus. With every desperate exhale from the prey, the snake tightens its coils, a relentless, suffocating ratchet. But modern studies show that constriction is far more sophisticated than simple suffocation. It is a direct assault on the circulatory system. The incredible external pressure stops blood flow, starving the brain of oxygen and causing the heart to fail against an impossible force. For a creature caught in Gigantophus's embrace, death would have been terrifyingly swift. Once the struggle ceases, the long, arduous process of swallowing begins. The snake would maneuver its head to the animal's snout, its jaws slowly walking over the prey. It was a process that could take many hours, but the reward was immense. A single, large meal like a Moratherium could sustain the cold-blooded giant for weeks, or perhaps even months, as it retreated to a quiet spot to digest. As a semi-aquatic ambush predator, Gigantophus was the undisputed king of the Fayum swamps. While large crocodiles shared these waters, a full-grown 10-meter adult snake would have been an intimidating if not impossible opponent. It was an apex predator defined not by venom or sharp claws, but by the simple, brutal application of raw physical power. An encounter with this phantom serpent didn't mean a quick bite. It meant being seized and crushed by a force of nature, a living hydraulic press of unrelenting muscle from a lost world. The discovery, made in the early 20th century in Egypt's Fayum Depression, was a landmark moment in paleontology. The sheer size of the vertebrae sent shockwaves through the scientific community. For nearly a century, Gigantophus garstini held the undisputed title of the largest snake ever known. It became a legendary creature, a benchmark against which all other fossil snakes were measured, a true titan of a bygone era. The Eocene world was a global hothouse, a planet swathed in warmth and high concentrations of atmospheric CO2. This greenhouse climate was the perfect incubator for ectotherms, or cold-blooded animals. With higher ambient temperatures, their metabolisms could run faster and more efficiently, unlocking the genetic potential for gigantism. In this lush, supercharged environment, reptiles reigned supreme, and Gigantophus was a king among them. But this reptilian paradise was not to last. The Eocene gave way to the Oligocene, a period of dramatic global cooling and drying. The vast swamps, the hunting grounds of Gigantophus, retreated, replaced by expanding savannas and arid deserts. As its habitat shrank, so did its prey, the giant proboscideans it hunted. As a highly specialized apex predator, Gigantophus couldn't adapt. Its gigantism became a fatal liability. Slowly, inexorably, its populations dwindled and then vanished from the fossil record forever. The Matsoidae clung on elsewhere, but their dominance waned. In 2009, an even larger snake was found, Titanoboa from Colombia. While Titanoboa may have dethroned Gigantophus as the largest, the original giant remains profoundly significant. For decades, Gigantophus was the monster in the paleontological closet, the ultimate serpent that haunted our understanding of the past. Its bones are incredibly rare and precious. Each massive vertebra a crucial word in its epic story. Piecing them together requires scientific rigor, painstaking measurement, and a healthy dose of imagination to resurrect the beast from its stony grave. Gigantophus was a relic of an older world, surviving into the Cenozoic, from the tiny thread snake to the colossal Gigantophus. Its danger was absolute, a hydraulic press of muscle. The story is a warning from the deep past about climate and gigantism. If you found the tale of this giant serpent as captivating as I did, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications. Leave your suggestions in the comments below. Your curiosity guides our expeditions into the past.